So, Microsoft is going to continue to do things that are going to be positive and things that are going to be negative. And that's just how I'm going to take things on the channel from now on. You know what I mean? If it's something that I feel like is a positive for Xbox, I'll say so. If it's something that I feel is a negative, I'll say so. I don't think it's going to be as cut and dry as some people might think. Sometimes you have to approach it as a situation of just a first party that still happens to have a console. But in this case, I feel like this is really, really idiotic on Phil Spencer and Microsoft's part. And why wouldn't they do this instead of doing it this way? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. It's kind of crazy that Microsoft does everything they can almost to seemingly avoid actually making Xbox consoles and selling Xbox consoles. I don't get it personally, but let's go ahead and get into it. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Please like, share, subscribe. I do daily gaming content, so if you're looking for that, go ahead and subscribe. Now, listen, this came up as a rumor, and again, this is something that you take with a grain of salt, but it looks like there is some substantiality to this as it kind of sits. This leak suggests that there's two new PlayStation 5 bundles coming out featuring Call of Duty Black Ops 6. The bundles, one of which will be a console digital edition and the other for the standard edition, will include a digital code for the Black Ops 6. Call of Duty is owned by Microsoft right now, right? I don't believe we've seen an Xbox bundle for Call of Duty, and Microsoft owns it. But yet we're going to get PlayStation Call of Duty bundles. Okay? That's not the worst of it. It gets worse, trust me. I just kind of wanted to get into this. A new leak is suggesting that Sony's gearing up to release two new PlayStation 5 bundles featuring Call of Duty Black Ops 6. The two bundles, which will reportedly be available with PlayStation 5 Slim and the Slim Digital Edition, come as a bit of a surprise, as Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is now over 6 months old and is owned by Sony competitor Microsoft. After announcing its intent to acquire Call of Duty publisher Activision Blizzard in 2022, Microsoft closed a nearly $70 billion deal in October of 23. Following Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, many of the publisher's IP, such as Call of Duty, Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot, have made their way to Game Pass, while both Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 were added to the service after their release. Black Ops 6 made history by becoming the first Call of Duty title to launch on Game Pass on day one. The bundles that are coming, with the Call of Duty franchise now being owned by Activision parent company Microsoft, very few people would have expected Sony to continue releasing PlayStation 5 bundles featuring the game. However, according to this leak, someone who has accurately leaked details on numerous bundles, games, and accessories in the past, Sony is gearing up to launch two new PlayStation 5 bundles featuring Call of Duty Black Ops 6. The leaker states that one bundle will be for a PlayStation 5 Slim and will come with a digital download code for Call of Duty Black Ops 6, while the second bundle will be exactly the same, but will include the digital edition of the PlayStation 5 Slim. Release date for the bundles are currently unknown, but the leaker speculates that they could be launched to coincide with the release of Call of Duty Season 4 or the New Days of Play event, both of which are rumored to arrive later this month. As for the price, the bundle featuring the disc version of the console will reportedly be priced at $449.99, and the digital bundle will be $399.99. Now, what's interesting about this, right? So you can get the disc version for $449. That's $150 less than the Xbox Series X with no game, right? Less, right? And then the digital one for $399 is still cheaper than the 1 terabyte Series S, which is much weaker and no game. So yeah, when it rains it pours for Xbox. This is really starting to look bad on them. And at the end of the day, what are they going to do? It's crazy. Although Call of Duty Black Ops 6 inclusion in a new bundle is somewhat surprising, it isn't the first title to receive a PlayStation 5 bundle. months after launch. Back in March, Sony revealed a new PS5 bundle featuring Astrobot, critically acclaimed 3D platformer exclusive to the PS5. The new PlayStation 5 mascot has joined other PlayStation console exclusives such as God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Marvel Spider-Man 2 to receive their own bundles. So again, it's weird to me that we have yet to see any type of a situation where Xbox will try to sell their console, but we have PlayStation still out there trying to do this. So yeah, you know what? It's a weird situation, and we're living in this weird world, right? Because it's like Microsoft doesn't want people to buy their console. And why wouldn't you want people to buy your console? Oh, well, because then you would have to actually make your console, get off your ass, fire up the warehouses and try to sell them, right? So Microsoft is not about that life. Like, anybody who doesn't see the road signs up, you should probably take a closer look at these things, because 100% it does not look like Microsoft wants anything to do with selling their console at this point. And my guess is just by things that we've seen lately, like the new GTA 6 trailer dropped, and it says at the end of the trailer that it was captured on the PlayStation 5. That means that there's also, looks like there's little Easter eggs, like there might be a PS5 in the game or something. But it's like, those are little things that you do when you get marketing rights and you try to sell people your console. And Microsoft seems like they don't really have, they don't really have a console that they want to sell people. I don't get it. Maybe they're happy letting Nintendo and Sony do all the work for them in terms of selling consoles, while they just reap the rewards of trying to trying to sell the thing. So it's a really, really sad situation. Microsoft used to be all in on stuff, believe it or not. Like I'll tell you what, man, when Microsoft was really out there trying to capture market share, we can look back to the Xbox 360. They got exclusive. Can you imagine this in this day and age? They paid, I believe, and it was still a good sum back then, $50 million to get story DLC to GTA 4 exclusive to Xbox 360 for a year, right? They had a couple pieces of DLC or whatever. So they actually went all out. They were the first to get maps, multiplayer maps for Call of Duty, and people don't think that matters. I was actually in the store at time. I think I was in a Walmart or something, and there were some teenagers or something, and they were like, well, which console should we get the Call of Duty for? And they're like, oh, well, Xbox gets the maps first. And so, I saw firsthand that, that's the type of stuff that sell people on, on the platform, which platform they're going to buy these things for in the first place. So, it definitely does kind of spark a little bit of interest there, that it makes sense to be able to go out there and say, okay, well, we have this or that. To me anyway, the way that I'm looking at what Microsoft is kind of handling things, I think people are still going to be surprised when when stuff like this happens, right? When Microsoft, and it's going to be a sad day indeed, and I don't want this to happen, but when Microsoft does stop making consoles, which I believe is going to be fairly soon, there's going to be this group of fans that are going to say, we had no clue. Where were the signs? It's like, guys, they put their best games on PlayStation, right? What did you think that was? That was a sign, They aren't getting marketing rights to anything. They pull out of almost every territory, right? So, if you want to know the signs, there's been a ton of them. And, I think that Microsoft really just doesn't care about, the Xbox console anymore, It's like, I think it's a mistake on their part. But at the same time, it's just one of those things that, I think the industry is, got away from them a bit. Instead of going out there and making sure that, you know, gamers have awesome stuff to play and things like that. Microsoft was like, hey, we've got money, let's buy a bunch of publishers and become like the biggest publisher on the planet. And that's basically what they did. You know, and then people are surprised that PlayStation is fans are buying the games. Well, when you spend over $100 billion on the biggest IP and publishers, that's going to happen. It doesn't mean it's a win for Xbox, because it doesn't help the Xbox console at all. So anyway, I'll link this in the description. Let me know what you guys think. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.